Meeting on the crossroads where the two forbidden subjects of politics and religion intersect. This is the Sophie Scholl Roundtable. We're in post-election season. Many breathe a sigh of relief, but others like talking about it. What happened? And I'm so glad to have back with me Kurt Olson. You might see there's a huge rock and a little rock. We'll do the little rock because Andy said Kurt should be stoned because he predicted the Zeldin win.
False prophets. Yes. So glad they don't get stoned.
Yeah. But hey, Zeldin gave a great candidacy. I thought he did his best as well as he could.
He did. The good news is there's numerous U.S. House seats that flipped red. There was a supermajority in the state Senate. That is no longer the case. There's a variety of things that happened that were positive, but I'm going to double down on what I said back in the spring when I said if this lady is reelected, or if this lady is elected, we're going to see masks on kids again. We're going to see a COVID vaccine mandate for kids in schools. And that's going to really cause some parents to ask some really hard questions. Anyways.
Yeah.
There's... When there is tyranny that happens and it isn't punished, those people are enabled. And I think we can expect that to unfold in our state, unfortunately.
And I love the quote you put on Facebook from Jimmy Fila, I think his name is.
From Fox Across America?
Yes. If we're being honest, the big winner in New York's governor race was U-Haul.
Yeah. And Mayflower Hauling. Name the moving company, and they probably saw what happened in Illinois, New York, California. It's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Business is going to be brisk.
And Florida's appreciative as well.
Exactly. Ron DeSantis is like going, well, we don't want to take all the conservatives up there, but we may have to.
Yeah. Yep. So I think that may explain some what we saw in Florida. But you've done some digging, and I would appreciate sharing with the people what you've dug up.
Well, I mean, so this is the day before Veterans Day that we're taping this. And before I left school, I checked realclearpolitics.com. Do you take a guess how many U.S. House seats have yet to be decided? Almost 48 hours later.
I want to say it's up to 3 dozen.
Close. 31. We have 7% of the Congress that doesn't have any unofficial winner yet. And it's just striking to me how we can be regarded as a constitutional republic that is envied when we can't count votes.
Right. In a computer age, supposedly.
Yeah. So we're one of the most technologically advanced countries on the planet. We have all kinds of things at our disposal. I say let's bring back the lever machine from Jamestown.
That's what I was thinking too. Bring back the levers.
Because we never had these issues.
Yep.
We never had these issues.
Right.
And there were multiple places around the country that used those.
That still use those?
No. When it was still being used, there were places all across the country that used the lever machine, made in Jamestown, New York.
Yeah. Boy, can't we go back to doing things efficiently without the computers, without the issue of, what's that voting machine company? Starts with a D. Dominion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think there's issues there.
There's a lot of things that are going on. Okay, so what did I not account for? I mean, so when I was predicting this back in the spring and doubled down just a few weeks back, it was polls were heading in a certain direction. It was issues that were resonating and appeared to be dominating the discussion. It was, apparent energy on the ground. And there are some interesting things that are going on in American culture that is affecting our politics. One is unmarried women voted overwhelmingly Democrat. Additionally, what they'll do is they will break things down by age group, and of course certain groups are still baby boomers. Then you got the Gen Xers, and eventually you get the millennials and the Gen Zers that are coming into play. Gen Zers and millennials, ages 18 to 29, voted plus 26. I've seen it as high as 28. I don't know where it's finally landed.
Yeah.
In favor of Democrats.
Yeah.
So the most recent generation to emerge from public schools and higher ed and have been influenced the most by an anti-American and various other isms that exist on that level, they have bought it hook, line, sinker.
Yep. Yeah. And it's the group that was surveyed to say that 55% of them do not believe in absolute truth. 55% say you just pick your own truth.
Yep. I mean, and frankly, for pastors, you better start dealing with the Gen Zers. The Gen Zers, your college age, your kids in high school, these kids are adrift. These kids are, and I don't want to blanket them.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple in my house, and I like to think that my kids have got a good head on their shoulders. Yep. I believe.
I think you do.
And I know my son didn't vote that way.
Yeah.
And the way my daughter was talking, I know she wouldn't have talked that way or voted that way.
Yeah.
But she also isn't 18 yet. But this generation that is emerging in the Gen Z category, they're lost. I mean, and frankly, we're probably back in first century Christianity. These are people who probably have no understanding whatsoever about who God is, who Jesus is, and why he came to planet Earth.
Yeah, I agree. It's that basic.
And things that we back 20, 30, 40 years ago, because people had come up through the 50s and the 60s, and there were stable homes, moms, dads, people attended church on Sunday, kids were in church. Those kinds of assumptions cannot be made anymore.
Right. Agree. And two, I would suggest, though I don't have the statistics to prove it, that most of these single women who went left are under a secular umbrella. That is, there's no theological foundation, biblical foundation, Christian worldview to their point of view.
Let me add something to this. So my son sends me an interview Glenn Beck did with Vodi Bakum. This was somewhere around Halloween where this was taped.
Yes.
I watched it in its entirety yesterday. That hour and 20 minutes of conversation between Glenn Beck and Vodi Bakum was filled with so much meat and substance, and they dove into the political sphere. They dove into the church. They dove into all kinds of categories and areas that you would say, And one thing I will share with this audience that I am thoroughly in agreement with at this point. As Vodi Bakum, very early in that discussion, he said, as Glenn Beck was questioning him about some of the really weird things that are happening in our culture, transgenderism, go down that road, and judgment. he said, America is now under judgment. And we are probably seeing the early stages of God saying, okay, you want to think and act that way? It's all yours. It's all yours.
I agree. And something else that Bauckham said, churches handed out voting guides.
Yes.
In handing out those voting guides, there really wasn't a clear, substantive communication about why we vote that way.
Yes.
In other words, it was without the foundation of a Christian worldview.
Exactly. Because everything we know about who Christ is goes back to his attributes, his character. He says, I am the way and the truth and the life in John 14 because it goes back to his character. And when you have a generation that doesn't even believe in absolute truth, and my question is this: how many kids who are college age or in high schools, they don't believe in absolute truth, yet they are in church every single Sunday? They will warm a pew, and they might even be active in church programs. And this gets to this soft Christianity that we have here in America, where we have the prosperity gospel that is alive and well in certain sectors of our country, but on the other side, we have this, I don't want to challenge my people. I just want to feed them something that, they can just kind of walk away and chew on, and it'll go down easy.
It's a milkshake, not anything to chew on. No
exactly.
meat.
Yeah. It's one of those drinks that has all the vitamins and minerals in it that they tend to give people who are recovering some kind of an illness or something. It's that.
Yeah.
There's no guts. There's no substance. There's no meat and potatoes. There's no veggies. There's no good fruit on the table.
I almost think it's more like Kool-Aid.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
Could very well be.
As we just observed what we witnessed this past Tuesday, how did you respond emotionally?
For me, when I woke up at 2 and I said, I just want to see what happened. After everything we have seen happen in the last 2.5 to 3 years, and I'm discounting Biden's insanity at the present. I'm talking pure COVID. When I see that, and then when I see, here's the thing that's so stunning. We have 75% of the American people who are saying we are on the wrong track. Yet, there isn't a single incumbent governor or senator from the party in power that got punished.
Yeah, wow.
I
know.
I would love some mathematician somewhere to run the numbers on how absolutely impossible it is for that to happen.
That's a really good point.
It just boggles my mind that we can have people 40% high on inflation, sticker shock still at the gas pump, sticker shock at the grocery store, and we're heading fast and furious toward the Christmas season. And I'm sure there are retailers like going, they got beads of sweat coming down from on their forehead. They're like, what is this going to look like this Christmas? And there's no punishment.
Nope.
Very little.
Nope.
And you're like, wow.
Yeah. It reminds me of a post on your Facebook from a mother who said this: you just told the people who destroyed your lives and businesses and acted like dictators for over 2 years that it's okay. You gave them permission to do it again, and they will.
And that's why I believe masks are coming back. Okay, yesterday I saw a video from California. RSV is pretty prominent among kids right now. It has reemerged. And there was something before, I don't know if it was a county board of supervisors or some health board out in California, and they're talking about, I don't know if it's a vaccine or the masking of kids, and there was a civil rights lawyer who went bonkers on them. And she said, you will not do this again. Okay? What is it going to come to for the likes of Hochul, Pritzker in Illinois, Newsom in California,
Whitmer in Michigan?
The Yahoos in New England, whether it's Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, go wherever, New Jersey.
Yeah.
What's it going to take
Yeah.
for them to realize how wrong they have been?
Yep, exactly.
And Hochul, during the debate with Zeldin on the 28th, she doubled down on everything. She made it seem like everything the state did was absolutely perfect, and she would do it again.
Yeah.
In fact, in that debate, she was challenged about the child vaccine mandate for schools. She would not commit, and within days later, she was saying she would. So get ready. It's coming. It's coming.
Yep. U-Haul is going to have more good business.
Yep. And there's going to be more people in the Empire State who say, adios.
Yep.
I won't let the door hit me on the way out.
But those, I think, are the people she would prefer to get rid of.
Exactly. If you listen to this woman, Kathy Hochul, if you do not think like her, who did she learn everything from? Andrew Cuomo. This is an attitude straight from Andrew Cuomo.
And hasn't she taken it to another level?
Yes. When she calls people who are vaccinated from a pulpit in a church,
yes,
apostles.
I know. Yeah, and when she says at the Judson Memorial Church that God is on the abortion side.
Yes. And here, in probably about 25 years or so, remember when abortions were supposed to be safe, legal, and rare?
Yeah.
We are long past that.
Yeah.
We will kill children and you will like it.
Yes, right. And we're going to wear the T-shirts that say "Shout your abortion."
Yep.
And I feel, okay, where's the next line?
Yep.
Is the line going to go up to 1 month after birth?
Here's what people need to grasp here. When Scripture warns us about giving people over to a deluded mindset, this is what we're talking about. The lines are gone. They're completely gone. And people will do whatever is right in their own eyes.
Yep.
And if you do any reading of Scripture, there is all kinds of warnings about the lack of boundaries, the lack of standards, the lack of truth, the lack of go down the list.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, before we wrap up this time, should we do any prognostication for the next 2 month? Because you've got the runoff in Georgia. Well, you still got the ballots to be counted. Okay.
So Adam Laxalt is going to win in Nevada.
I believe so too.
I don't think the incumbent, and I don't know her. Cortez Masto. She does not have the ability to come back from the deficit she is now at. Blake Masters. Can we talk about quality candidates for a second? We had some lousy candidates that ran for the U.S. Senate. Mehmet Oz, Dr. Oz, bad candidate. I really was never a fan of Blake Masters, and he's behind right now to the Democrat unless he's able to pull a rabbit out of his hat. Who were some of the other bad candidates? Frankly, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I'm not a fan of Herschel Walker as a candidate.
I would have to agree in that I've listened to him on television, and I agree with his positions, but I'm not sure.
See, one of the things that, if Pat Toomey had run for re-election, Fetterman would be an asterisk right now. He would not be a guy that the left is championing for running for president. Yes, that's a thing. And Fetterman would be so in the rearview mirror that it wouldn't even be funny.
Now, why do you say that?
Because Pat Toomey was an established politician in the state of Pennsylvania. He wasn't a carpetbagger from stinking New Jersey. And he wouldn't have been a guy who was propped up by Donald Trump at the last minute in the primary to push him over the finish line.
I agree. I know.
And there were some... If you're going to have a wave that sustains itself, you have to have quality candidates. Period.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that, all bets are off.
And I don't know if Sean Hannity helped Mehmet Oz. Maybe in the primary, but I don't think in the general election.
Yeah,
I just feel like kind of stay out when it comes to candidates.
And we haven't even had a conversation about stinking mail-in ballots and what's going on with that trend.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
No, that's
very real.
Yeah.
Very real.
So, all right, well, we'll wait and see. But do you think Walker will win the runoff?
I think one-on-one, if Trump keeps his nose out of Georgia, as a lot of people are telling him to do, he wins.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, too, this time I think Governor Kemp will help him.
Oh, I think Kemp and a few other legitimate, long-standing Republicans in the state of Georgia will be able to get him over the finish line to 50+1.
Yeah, I think, because at first I was saying, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I think the Libertarian vote is up in the air.
So the point is, okay, so Adam Laxalt gets them to 50.
Yep.
Walker would get them to 51.
Yep.
If Blake Masters can pull a rabbit out of his hat, that is 52.
Yep.
So getting to 51 takes Kamala Harris out of the picture.
Yep.
And Republicans getting the majority, whatever amount that is in the House, should put the brakes on everything Joe Biden thinks is so brilliant about whatever he's doing.
Yes. So I'm thinking it's going to be 51-49, whether it's an outside shot through Masters or Herschel Walker winning. I'm going to say Herschel Walker is going to win because of Kemp.
I think he will too. I do. Head to head.
Oh, no.
Yeah, bring back the stone.
Bring back the stone. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. And we're going to do one more session. This one will be, I know we're looking way ahead, 2024.
Yep.